What's happening, guys? How we doing? Everybody good? We got audio, very important. We're gonna need lots of audio today. Siglet, hello mate. Michael, welcome. Last week we made the promise of a part 2 follow-up to the Distorted Dreams solo. It's a very very tricky solo, and today we're gonna break down the second solo. How's everybody doing, first of all? You guys good? Changing a few things around here, actually. We've got a bunch of new cameras, setups. You like this shirt, Michael? I have just been out to a little small thing. I'll not say too much on it, but yeah. Oh, man, it's hot. It's actually really warm here too. 113. I don't think it's quite 113 here, Michael, but it's fairly warm. So, yeah, Distorted Dreams, man. I haven't even warmed up today, and I start playing along with the backing track. And I was like, okay. This is going to be one of those sessions. Troll, hello, mate. Nice to see you, buddy. It's going to be good. A couple of new things today. One thing, say, for example, we're doing a little pedal demo or checking out some pedals live. What do y'all think of this? Oh, look at that. New camera angle. Ding, ding, ding. There we go. That'll make things a lot clearer when we're doing overdrive shootouts and stuff like that. Yeah. Also got the choose the guitar cam. Choose the guitar. Looks like some of those guitars have had a little bit of drink, so we'll make some space. I listened to that playlist a little bit. Yeah, it's like 40 minutes or something, right? So I might check that out as well. I don't know. Not today. Hey, Billy. Nice to see you, mate. Ryan. Is that Ryan? Hi. Welcome. Okay, so who's up for breaking down a solo? Distorted Dreams Part 2. Last week we did Part 1. And today we're going to break down the second one. It's quite a big ramp up. But I think we can do it. We can do that. Got a new camera angle for the guitar. Should be okay. All right, let's get right into it because we don't have much time to waste today. That's for sure. It's a big one, but we can do it. We can do it. So let's attempt the take, and then I'll start breaking it down. And as always, if you have any questions, I've got 3 chat screens today, so I definitely shouldn't miss any chat that's going down. So here we go. So lots of different techniques, lots of different approaches to soloing, and there's 3 different pickup select changes. It starts off with a split sound, and then it goes into the humbucker sound, and then later on we're on the neck position. And I like doing that with my playing. You know, I use the pickup selector a lot, and it's partly probably why I really don't like using a 3-way, because I'm using those splits and I'm going between the splits and full humbucker sounds. And to do that with a split, we would really struggle because we would have to, let me get a guitar shop. You'd have to basically keep push-pulling on one of the pots. And that's just going to be very, very difficult, you know, compared to just selecting it. Especially a lot of the time when I'm playing, I'll swipe through the guitar strings. So as part of that pick, I will push through the pickup selector, and that's how we will actually get to that humbucker sound from the split. So split sound. And that final downwards pick. In one motion, I kind of push through the strings into the pickup selector, and that's how I would change from a single coil sound to the humbucker sound. All right, so let's start right at the top with the track. So it starts off with a bit of bluesy. So that's where we're gonna start. Very kind of pentatonic bluesy-like sound with that note there, the A sharp. So the lick itself. Welcome, Jace. Welcome, Jace, mate. Nice to see you. So, you know, it's a kind of an easy entry into the solo, I guess. And then it's that little slur. So it's barely sliding. You're not hearing too much of the slide. It's just a... So let's put that lick together. We kind of do a little bit of an awkward slide. So it's going from the G up to the B, G to the A, down to the E, and then back up to the A, down to the G. So that's like this. Now that's quite an easy... Hey, welcome, Lisa. Welcome. So that is quite a sort of the type of slide that's very easy to make a mistake on. A lot of the time, if I'm feeling a little bit extra hyped up, I might slide too far. And then we start going into that diminished sound. So I have to be really, really careful of that. So let's put that together. Whilst we're holding that last note, bring over the second and third, so the third goes on the D string, and then the second goes above it. So let's just play that with the track. See there? So when we get back to that G, 3, 2, 1. And then we do another little slur down. Let's try the track. So that little slur there. Going here, 3, 2, and it's going from that second to the G. So even though it's pentatonic sounding, there's a lot of big interval jumps for this type of sound. It's a complete tongue twister, that line, actually. So the more you slow it down, the more difficult it becomes, actually. But that line is... It's kind of going from this position down to the 7th fret area. So that's kind of how it sort of starts off, really. That's the opening phrase. And I do, when I play that live, I do have a little bit of sort of variation depending on the hype level that I'm at. You know, sometimes I might be a little bit ahead and sometimes I'll be a little bit behind. But as long as it kind of finishes and it's got a groove about it, I'm not too concerned if it's a little bit ahead or because it's got that kind of laid back sound. So if it's not dead on that particular section, it doesn't make too much difference. Some of the other sections that are like alternate picked, and they're a little bit more kind of designed to be a little bit more precise. Zeroed, welcome, mate. Welcome. Nice to see you. So let's go to the next section, and we'll see how it sort of ramps up to something that's a little bit more crazy. Okay. We'll just continue through it. So that is the throwback sound. You know, it's the Eddie sound, right? That's the nod, that's the throwback sound. So that's the section that I changed from a single coil down to a humbucker. So the opening solo is with single coil. See, that slide's very easy to do wrong. From the single coil as I start the picking. So it'll be like this. And one more time. So it's missing the B note, so it's almost an entire E minor scale on a string, except it does not play that C note, rather, not the B note. Because if we play that C note, it starts to sound very minory. And at this point of this part of the solo, we're not really going for that sound. We're kind of still keeping it with the pentatonic and the sort of slightly bluesy sound. If we suddenly start putting a very dominant sort of sound from the minor scale, it's going to have a totally different sound. So that's why we skip that C note and go straight from the B up to the E. To the D note on the B string. And then when we bend up, we bend from the E to the F sharp on that B string. Yes. Michael, you're going to have to keep me correct today. You're going to have to keep me correct. I haven't had any coffee today. And then, that's the line. So let's put it all together. So you can still tell we have this sort of backwards and forwards like approach, right? Let's have a listen to that all together. Then it goes quite quick. Now, what we'll do is we'll slide up with our second finger to the B note. And and this is on the G string. And this again gives us this big interval jump because we slide to this note, but we start the lick on the G note on the high E string right here. And just remember 12, 13, 14, 15, so you always kind of remember which fret you're on. And then it goes into a little bit of a sort of pentatonic land, but not quite, because we're skipping out this G sharp, so it's like this. It's very much that bluesy pentatonic sound again. So this is one thing that I do a lot when I'm playing these kind of licks, sliding up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go to 1, 3, so I can cross the 2 above the 3. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, because then we're going to be trapped, and it's very difficult to then descend out of that position. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 1, then we have options of escaping away from that if we want to. And it's easier to even stretch out and put other notes. So let's just skip a little bit ahead and play that to the track. I don't know if it's quite difficult to join at this certain point. Yeah, there's a lot of the slides happening, Michael, yeah. It's a very difficult solo to like join halfway through. I don't think I can actually just join in because the backing track doesn't give too much away as to which point the solo is at. So let's just go back into it from a little bit ahead. Here we go. So basically there's just some kind of ad-libs there. That I don't play exactly the same as the record because the record was just recorded in this section probably in like 1 or 2 takes. I was like, okay, that's gonna work, we'll stick with that. So that kind of approaches, we do the slide, then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, we're kind of imitating each octave. So we have like 3 octaves of a very similar approach. We're kind of just jamming around on that sort of pentatonic sound. It's a good idea just to be able to fluently jump between those octaves. And that way, depending on the approach of the solo, you've got different options for different octaves available. Now, as I've started to play this solo versus the record, in the live versions, I've started to add pinched harmonics on that 12th fret. So it's not a super high. It's not that type of pinched harmonic. It's literally just an octave, which is very, very easy to repeat over and over. So you can easily kind of follow that up with some pentatonic lines of your own. But the next line is a very specific line, and that one kind of does need to be pretty precise. Yo, Wes, how are you doing, buddy? How's your week starting out? We're breaking down the second solo for the Distorted Dreams Part 2 solo, which is pretty tricky. But the next line, it starts to introduce a slightly different sound. It starts to introduce a little bit of harmonic minor. And this is a little bit of a shift in the solo. So I'm going to play it through and listen for when it goes to that point, and you'll hear suddenly there's a slightly different sound going on. So it's that line there. So that starts on D sharp or E flat. And right away, like that note just suddenly stands out, even though it's a very fast phrase. As soon as you hear that, you kind of tell that the solo has changed direction. It's got an outro because we're headed to the end of the solo. So that line is this line here. So 1, 2, 4. So we're going from D sharp, E up to the G on the D string. And then on the G string, we're going from the A sharp to the B. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3. And up to that D note on the B string. And we kind of just have to alternate pick. It's one of those things, you start to slow it down and it becomes a little bit trickier. So it's like it just requires that pace rather. So it's going like this. So that line up top, basically the whole thing goes from the low strings to the high strings, back down to the low strings. But the second time it goes, it continues. And when we go up top, we go from the G, A sharp, B, D. And we go up to that D note with our fourth finger coming off of that B note. And we really hang on to that last note because we start a melody from that note. Hello, mate. Nice to see you here. And then we come up with an outro line, which is actually using a note that is not an E minor. So it's that C sharp or D flat. So let's try that a couple of times together. And it really kind of hangs on that sound for a longer time. Everything leading up to that is being really fast and staccato, alternate picked. And now we're kind of suddenly changing up the melody and going in these like, I think it's actually in groups of 3, but it's completely, when you're playing it along with the track, coming out in that fast section, it just takes a little time to get used to that, coming from really, really fast alternate picking to the groups of 3 at a slower pace. So you definitely want to work on that. And then final line to finish it all off is a very quirky line. It's a really interesting line. It's again, it's very difficult to play without going full on, full volume, full humbuckers. But it's this is the line. We're going to get the pinky right up on the 24th fret, and then down here on this B note, we're going to have second finger right there, and we're going to use the 4th, 2nd, and 1st for the first couple of notes. You hear that big interval jump? It's that interval. So you can practice that just like that. Making sure that 2 to 4 hammer on pull off is just nice and tight. And if that's something that doesn't feel natural at first, it'll not feel long before using the 2 to 4 starts to feel more natural. So that final line so what we're doing is doing a little throwing that third finger over to that G note on the B string, and then sliding up to that E note on the G string, and then we do a chromatic ending. And then we bend from the D sharp up to the E. Really tricky to play kind of like isolated like that, but let's listen to it one more time with the track. So you can see, once I just commit to it a little bit more and stop breaking it down section by section and just flow through the whole thing, because a lot of these parts require momentum. I mean, you could just go straight into it, but it really helps when you're going for it full on. And that's why sometimes it's good to practice like methodically, very low gain, so you get that finger strength and you get that sort of tightness in your playing. But sometimes you just got to go for it, you know, and just literally have like a good blast. Give yourself 5 minutes, really kind of going all out. Chili, hello mate, welcome. Yes, you know, it's a Fishman stream, you know, so I thought I'd dress up, of course. Chili, been playing around. We've got some new things on the setup. We're going to be doing a lot of pedal stuff very soon. So I thought, hey, we need a new camera. Let me move my keyboard so we can show you what I mean. Hey, look at this Chili. Obviously, I'll move some stuff out. You can see my mouse, what mouse I'm using. Da, 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 da. How's that? So if we have overdrive pedals, bang, bang, got the top down view now. It's going to be a lot easier to get that nice angle on the pedal. You can see exactly what knobs I'm tweaking. Put the Quad Cortex on here. It's going to be good. Speaking of Quad Cortex, 8 presets done. Going to be released in the next couple of days. Bang, bang. I need to send you a real mouse. Well, it depends. I have a lot of mice. I have things like wired mice on my PC. I would never use a wireless mouse on a gaming rig. So I have a G500, which I really like. I have a G400S as well. But this Logitech G500 was always a favorite of mine. I really, really like that. So that's what I use on a gaming rig. I have some Razer stuff as well. I have G400s. I have a bunch of these as well. This one is a Razer mouse. I have loads of these. Yeah, I don't particularly love the feel of this one. Like this one. I don't know. I might leave it out. Try it again with the Counter-Strike rig, the gaming rig. I'm gonna leave that one out. Let's see. I'll give it another shot. But yeah, you can send me a mouse and I'll try it. We'll give it a shot. The thing is I have a bunch of these. I mean, I can't use the Apple ones. I mean, the only reason I use like trackpads is because they take up so little space, and when I'm editing in Final Cut, all the gestures. So this would be on the left. So basically, a Final Cut editing setup would be like this. This would be a Final Cut editing setup. It'd be an MX Master Logitech keyboard, and then the trackpad would be doing like the gestures. So that would be like a Final Cut rig. 2-finger gestures a lot on the trackpad. I know we're a bit zoomed out there, but zoomed in rather, but that's one rig. But the thing is this machine here behind me is my main audio machine. So this trackpad and this second keyboard belongs to that machine, and there's another MX Master over there as well. So this one would control my music machine. So it's handy for that. You're not a fan of the Logitech? Yeah. No, maybe I need to revisit it. The thing I found really good about Logitech was the G5 felt like, well, the G5 series felt very ergonomic, and it used to really feel nice in the hand when I was playing professional Counter-Strike. But I don't know, maybe there's some more options. And also, there was another mouse that I used to like as well, but I can't remember. But another thing about Logitech is every time I've had an issue, they've always just sent replacements, which has always been pretty good. So, I don't know. I don't know. You let me know. But we blasted through that. We kind of rushed through the solo a little bit because I don't know if you guys had any questions about the solo. It's a very it doesn't always have a lot of rhyme or reason unless it's all played together. So when you break up those parts and you kind of go through them section by section, it's like, whoa, what's going down here? It's like, you know, until you string all those lines together, then that's when it makes sense. Chili, we've got another camera over on the left hand side here as well now. So we're gonna, you know, so obviously we've got the front camera, and this is the same front camera, it's just cropped in, but this is a totally separate camera. So quite like that. So we're bending, tapping, and doing a slide 3 times, and then going for the. So we're gonna tap that. Quite tricky. Yeah, interval jumps. Yeah, it's fun. Also, we've got the guitar cam. The guitars are falling over. But yes, this is running the guitar cam. Hello. It's when we want to choose a different guitar. So I've been playing around. I think the pedal thing is going to be good though, because there's so many pedals that are just, you know what it's like. We've done it before on the stream where we've got overdrives out and I've got a camera on them, but unless it's a top-down view, like this kind of thing, then it's always so difficult to see what's going on, you know? Like, what settings are you using? Oh, 3/4. Ah, that doesn't really work, does it? So I think it's gonna be fun. By the way, in 2 hours and 20 minutes from now, the guitarist from Cradle of Filth is going to be live on my Twitch channel, and that's going to be a pretty awesome stream. Richard Shaw, great guitarist, really cool guy, plays in a really awesome band, and we're going to hit him with some questions, some chat, and it's going to be really fun. So if you're around in a little over 2 hours from now, join us, my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/McRocklin. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good one. We've already did a little sound check earlier today, and yeah, great player, really good player. Yeah. So speaking of the splits and tones and stuff, I'm sure the regulars will know exactly what this guitar is, but this particular guitar, if you're watching for the first time, it's using Fluence Abasi pickups in the white version. A lot of my other guitars have the Abasis. I find them to be a really versatile, really cool set of pickups. But these ones are in the white, and they're wired with a Fender Super 5-way switch, which I really like as well. You know, like I mentioned, a lot of the time when you buy a guitar that comes with Fishman Fluence, it might be wired up with like the default 3-way that will come in the box. But the cool thing is you can update or upgrade that switch to a Super 5-way switch, and then you're going to have those splits in your normal positions as opposed to using a push-pull on like the volume pot. And this particular guitar also has the battery pack as well, which is a really good option. I wish I had that on every single guitar. It just makes life so easy. Literally charge it up like every couple of months or so and you are good to go. It's a really good option. So yeah, I really like this guitar. I didn't use this guitar so much in the other streams, but in this type of stream, it's really cool. I like it. It's a kind of fusion, classic shape, modern style. Really nice. So what pickups are you guys using in your guitars? What's everybody using? That'd be interesting to know. And it could be any pickups. Yeah. Siglet using stock. Using stock pickups. What are those pickups, mate? What stock? Stock what? P90s? What are they? Oh, okay, polarity. Zero's got some polarities. Okay. Yeah, polarities is what I had in my DC before I changed it over to the Fluence. And to be fair, these sounded alright. They sounded decent. So this guitar came with polarities, and now it has the Fishman Fluence Classics in it. And I think the Classics are really good. The one thing I'm gonna do on this guitar, and this is a really awesome thing. Right now, usually when my tech puts in Fishman Fluence pickups, and by the way, you don't probably need a tech, but I just don't trust myself with any tools, especially a soldering iron. You know, I don't know. You really want to try the Classics? Yeah, the Classics are fantastic. Really good splits. And for the heavy sounds, I mean, let's try it right now. Let me give you a quick tune-up. Okay, should be close enough. So because I have a 5-way super switch, let me see if I can get it a little bit. Actually, I'll just go this one. Because I'm using a 5-way super switch, the volume pot does not have a push-pull. The profiles all are done with the super 5-way switch, and the tone pot jumps between the different profiles. So down, that's on right now, that is the main profile. But when I pull it up, it's slightly less output, turns into more of like a passive sound. It's probably a little bit brighter sound as well. Let's try that again. Definitely hear that's a little bit heavier. Pull it up. Now I prefer it the other way around actually. I feel for a lot of my sounds, I prefer the slightly lower output, which is a little bit brighter sounding, and it's got a little bit more kind of cut. So the really cool thing is you can wire the sort of profile selector, you can flip it round. So that means when we are down like this, which is like, you know, when you pick up your guitar, I find that I don't really want to leave the sort of knob pulled up like that. I'd just rather leave it in its default position. So you can easily just wire it the other way around. So when it's down like that, it's using the second profile, and when you pull it, it goes to the first profile. And that way, the default position for your volume pots and stuff, it's going to be the profile that you want, you know. So yeah, it's definitely heavy. But yeah, I find the classics to be really versatile. They don't have the same kind of hyped up over the top split of the Tosins, but they do have that really nice, pretty sparkly sound. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I will be back in just a moment. There we go, mic fixed. I was waiting for a very important overdrive pedal to be delivered. It wasn't that, unfortunately. It was something else. But overdrive, whew. When I think about this overdrive that's coming, whew, it's very exciting. It's like an overdrive that I've never seen before. I expect it to sound absolutely killer. It's got tubes in it. It's variable stages, variable channels. It's almost like a massive pedal, sorry, a massive head, but in a pedal. Like crazy. So that's coming. And obviously the new top-down view. This one will be perfect for showing that. It'll be really good. So yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait for this pedal. I've been like, it's the first batch that they're making before the launch, and it's like every week, oh, it's almost done. The packing's done. This is almost done. It's like, just send one already. Can't wait. I'm very excited. Overdrives, I think it's the one pedal that gets me the most excited. You know, we had that G3, sorry, the G3 Rev, which is actually taking the spot right now of the Deluxe Friedman, BOD Deluxe. And I didn't think that would be getting replaced anytime soon. And I'll probably alternate between those two, but that Rev G3 is a great sounding pedal. That is the Rev right there. If I turn that Rev off, slightly flat D string there. KSR pedals? No, I have not. Is that another brand that we should check out, Zeroed? What kind of pedals do they do? I know of the brand, but I haven't checked them out. That'll be interesting. Oh, you've got me thinking now. Another mega overdrive shootout on the card. Bending on the lower strings, well, actually on all strings versus the headless. It's a slightly different feel. I always kind of take a couple of minutes to bend. I feel like on this, where you have this much string length, even though the scale length of the neck is still 25.5, when you're doing stuff like that. That versus doing it on a headless, you have to bend the strings or pull the strings a little bit further due to the string length. And I always find like, it's like I don't want to overbend. I'd rather sometimes a flatter bend than an overbend. I hate the sound of overbend. So tone is on point. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so maybe it's KSR. We need to check them out. We'll line them up. We'll do something with KSR as well. Then another very exciting thing though. We've got some movement with the acoustic guitar. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's those pedals there, right? Looking at them right now. Oh, look at those. Those look very pretty. Those look very pretty. Oh, the purple one, yes. Oh, yes. I'll send a message to KSR. We'll get some KSR stuff. Acoustic stuff. There's finally some movement on that. That might be happening finally after Loudon just getting backed up and their ordering and everything just went absolutely out of control over the COVID situation. Seems like that's all starting to come together a little bit more now. So the idea is there's going to be a really, really cool acoustic guitar that's going to be sent over to Fishman in the US. And then they're going to do some really, really cool things with a preamp and save some models into the preamp system and then send it back to the UK. And that's going to lead to another type of thing that we're going to do on the stream. So for example, we could have like an acoustic that we plug straight in, record some riffs, get some drum beats, hey, everybody's interacting, and then bang, we switch to a guitar, we switch to triple play, and then suddenly we've got like all different things coming together, making tracks real time, and building up songs real time on the streams. I think that's going to be a really fun thing. I'm looking forward to that. So that's finally happening. What tone woods? I'm not sure which one they went with, but they basically looked at what I liked about my old Loudon that I've had since like the 90s. So I don't know if it's gonna be like, you know, like a spruce or something, rosewood back and sides or something. I'm not sure on that, but they said they've found a guitar that they think would be a really good fit. And they are now in the process of getting that guitar back in their hands so they can get the procedure of getting the guitar over to Fishman in the US underway. So I think that's gonna be really fun. It's something that I wanted to do for a while, but I definitely don't want to pull out, you know, a big acoustic and have to, you know, use a mic. Oh, you know, I already have a mic, you know, up here for voice, so I think we're good on mic, so it'd be great just to plug it straight in, get that DI sound. It's gonna sound like it's been mic'd up, but just DI'd in. So Fishman do a really, really cool pickup that really helps with that. So I think that's gonna be good as well. The Delta variant. What is the Delta variant, mate? Delta variant. Is that ruining? Yeah. You think it's the Delta variant? Ooh. Damn Delta variant. Oh, really? Yeah. Maybes. I mean, I don't know what COVID... Well, I guess Loudon are based in Ireland. I don't know what the situation's like in Ireland, but I guess it's inevitably going to be supply chain led, right? So there's going to be some parts maybe that they're getting from other countries. That's been the ones. It's going through the vaccine. Damn. Michael, you've got some expensive taste, okay? I only use Koa. I mean, to be fair, I've tried a couple of Taylors that had Koa, maybe entire thing, Koa back, top, and sides. And yeah, they sounded great. I love the look of Koa. I would actually really like a Kiesel with a Koa top at some point. It's on the list. It's on the list of not something that I've spoken to them about yet. But yes, Michael, you've got very expensive taste. I like it. It's good though. You know what you like. Yeah, Koa is expensive. Like, you can't, if as far as I can remember, like Koa, you can't just go and chop the trees down. It's something like you have to wait until they fall down naturally, and there's only like one place you can get the Koa trees. It's something like Hawaii or something like that. You saw, well, wow, okay. That's a lot of zeros. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if it has a lot of Koa in it. Koa, it's gonna be very expensive. But yeah, looks great. I think just a Koa top would be enough for me. You know, maybe a chambered Zeus with a Koa top. Go for that natural vibe, summer vibe. But there's more pressing things with guitars than that right now, which we'll get to at some point. So you've been there for half a year. So you have a Takamine acoustic with a Koa top, or it's all Koa, did you say, Michael? So yeah, man, we have to hear a sample of this guitar. Maybe it's on the Discord. We have submissions for guitar playing, your guitar playing. Maybe we should have some acoustic submissions on there as well. That'd be good. Be interesting to hear that Koa, all Koa. Yeah, all Koa, no messing around. Very cool. So guys, was there any questions that you had about the Distorted Dreams solo? I know it's a bit of a, it's a tricky solo, and there's lots of little lines, and lots of those lines that just need, you know, repeating over and over, so they start to feel second nature. It's the worst kind of solo to learn because you feel like you're just learning little sections, and then it's not until you start getting really comfortable with those sections and you're able to string those sections together. Nice. then that it like you start to get that that satisfaction. And as always, I think last week I put the full download. Give me that section. I know. Oh man. It's not until you actually get to put all those sections together that's when it's like, okay, that makes sense. Now it's starting to feel like a solo as opposed to like all these little bits, you know. And sometimes I write like that as well with riffs, you know. Sometimes I just have like these little fragments and suddenly there's another fragment and that gets strung together, and then there's another section from like another riff that I was working on a few months ago. I'm like, oh, let's use that riff with this new thing I'm working on, and then suddenly we're kind of building out riffs like that. And sometimes I find that to be like quite an interesting way of writing, you know, because that way in some ways you get to use those riffs that are sitting recorded on your phone or computer. You get to put them to use as opposed to just leaving them unfinished forever. So yeah, well, let's quickly really, I don't know if I'll try it on the DC. In fact, let's try it. It's very, very, yeah, we'll see. If you're tuning in late, let's, yeah, still got the track here. Swap these keyboards around. We basically went through the second solo of Distorted Dreams. Do you record when you practice? Not until I find something that I particularly like, and then I normally just record in like voice memos. I've got tons of voice memos. I was sometimes recording into Ableton because my default setup is, it's this setup here, which is very similar to the streaming setup, and it's always kind of armed and ready to record. But then what I found was a lot of time I'd have like so many Ableton projects that are like all over the place, and when it came to actually doing an Ableton project and then loading, you know, a song that we're working on, it became a little bit like hectic because you're left with all of these Ableton projects, right? So now I kind of just record them on the phone and try and name them. That's the thing, and not just have 99,000 new recordings on your phone. That's the problem. One more time, and then we'll wrap it up. Obviously, a little bit of improv at the end there, but the solo was the second solo from Distorted Dreams, Solo 2. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for hanging out today. It was always, it's always fun. And remember, 2 hours from now, Richard Shaw from the band Cradle of Filth is going to be joining me on my Twitch channel in a couple of hours from now. And should be a good hangout, you know. He's really into his gear, fantastic player. He's got some really tasty gear, and no doubt some really interesting and fun stories. If you've got any questions for Richard as well, don't forget to send them in advance on the Discord. And if you're just tuning in, let me give you the link to the Discord. You can. There we go. That's the Discord. Definitely join that. And yeah, it's been awesome seeing everybody. It's always a fun time. So you guys take care, and I will see you in a couple of hours' time over on Twitch. Alright, you guys take it easy. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers, guys. Bye.